4 times out of a week that we do special backup for the sheriff department, and that's because when you're out there, if they call, we got to go. And if I have to leave and go to, my last instance was in Mr. Van Ness area, because everybody that was available was on the south end of town, and we was on the north end. So we back up the county, and to leave North Broadway in the loop and go past Interstate 20 at 80 miles an hour because somebody's on the telephone saying, he's at my back door trying to get in, I need some help. I have to go 85 and 90 miles an hour. My 2 gallons, .87, was gone by the time I got toward UT. Now, if you want the citizen to believe that all you want to allocate by precinct is $2, 2 gallons, 2.8 gallons per day for an officer to protect them, I just wish in your heart you would look a little bit deeper to help our department out. I appreciate it. I just wanted to bring to your attention. I do want to tell Ms. Wilson she did an excellent job to help me to get started. I'm asking you to help me finish. Thank you very much.
Anybody else?
Chief, do you have any other forms?
No, this all, Judge.
Well, I will open it up. I guess, Ms. Wilson, would you like to start talking some of the issues that have...
Where do you want to start with the retiree, the COLA? We have to do that plan anyway, so this is, it's required every year that the Commissioners Court adopt the retirement plan for the next calendar year, which would be January 1, 2008. And I think one of the subjects that you wanted to talk about today was whether or not you wanted to adopt a cost of living increase for retirees. So I've done some calculations on that. So if you actually want to adopt a 3% cost of living increase for your retirees, the maximum that it would probably cost the county is about $80,000. And that's the worst case scenario because that's based on total payroll and we don't expend total payroll. There's a factor that you go into. It's a minimal effect. It's a big effect to the retirees, a minimal effect to the county overall. So if you want to adopt a cost of living increase for the retirees, now's the time to do so. You need to take that into vote, and we will send that into the retirement system.
Ms. Wilson, how long has it been since the retirees have received the cost of
Retirees
living?
in Smith County have never received a cost of living increase.
Well, I move that we grant a 3% cost of living adjustment for the retired Smith County employees. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, we can move on now to, I think one of the subjects was the warrants division. I believe Merlin is here to discuss that. The question was whether or not you wanted to fund an additional investigator. I'm not sure if I'm labeling them correctly.
Merlin, if you want to approach, state your name for the record and kind of tell us what you're asking for. And just for the benefit of the rest of the court, I know Merlin has spoken to Ms. Wilson and myself several times over the last few months about the need for an additional warrant officer. I think and made an alternative pitch to Ann a week or so ago. She relayed to me, and I'm in favor of adding an administrative assistant for the warrant division, but certainly welcome you to state your case.
Okay. My name is Merlin Hilbrand. I'm a detective in the Smith County Court of Law Warrant Division. And we currently work all 3 courts, county courts, Judge Rogers, Dunn, and Getz. And we do all the warrants for them. And we have taken up some extra duties for JP3 that we have people to work their warrants, so we're doing those. And we have more warrants coming in than we're able to produce, in other words, to find them. And we're looking for one more person to work in that warrant division. My original thought was one more officer to work, one for each judge. And after thinking about it and talking to Ms. Wilson and everything, we thought maybe a secretary would be better. It's a lower salary rate. And she can do a lot of the initial looking the information up, tracking people down and giving them to us, we can go pick them up.
Merlin also mentioned what you mentioned to me about the vehicle, that additional vehicle. I think that the DA's office is going to be given.
Well, we originally wanted a new minivan, because ours is like 5 years old and it's falling apart. But after looking at all the vehicles that are going to be turned back in for getting new ones, we thought it might be a good idea to get one of the ones that are turned back in and let the third officer use that. Well, if we don't get the third officer, we didn't really need it. And then I started thinking, well, if the minivan breaks and it's a major break, then we do need it. So I would like to have a turned-in vehicle come over to my division. If that, something happens to that minivan, we have a used vehicle to go ahead and get into.
And you currently have 2 officers,
Right.
and you have 1 vehicle.
We have 2 vehicles.
You have 2 vehicles now.
One's a Crown Victoria, which everybody runs from when it pulls up. But besides that, we have a minivan that's very undercover, where we can go do what we need to do and not be obvious about it. And so that's what we're looking for, is another vehicle that we could use, which is a Taurus, I believe, that would be turned back in, that would fit that job that I need.
Does that Crown Vic, or do you utilize that one at all? Is that,
Yes, I do. It depends. If I get a call at night, I go out. And my partner may not be with me, so a lot of times during the day we ride together, we serve warrants together, but at night I may not have that option, or if he's sick, or whatever the case is, so I would take my vehicle. But it also uses so much gas that we try to stay in one minivan for safety reasons and also the gas reasons.
sure.
I guess my question is, this is strictly the warrants that are issued by Judge Rogers, just Gats and
Just
Judge.
Gats.
So those are just their warrants, and these different from the warrants that the constables normally go out and work, and why are you working for JP3?
Well, JP3, I guess, ran into some problems with not having anybody serve as warrants, because I think one of his deputies had to have hip surgery, and the other was his civil, did all the civil work, so it wasn't anybody serving as warrants.
Or it was getting backed up at the very least, I think. is-
Yeah, getting backed up, and they come to me and asked if I'd be willing to help with that. Yeah, I said, yeah, I'll try to do the best I can.
I think they've also been sending some of them to Constable Taylor's office. He's been helping them since that officer's been down there.
I'm confused. JP3 is who? Meredith, and what happened to the constable?
Once had hip surgery.
So the constable
Just-
had hip surgery, or,
He had knee surgery.
oh, so Dan had his knee surgery,
And
and
then I think the other.
Also, there was another one
Yeah.
that had surgery also. One of his deputies.
The doctor had to release Danny and to go back.
Right.
And that's not the only ones we serve, though. We also do attorney general warrants, child support stuff. Some of those are also in the county federal law. A lot of the stuff we do, like death by checks, for instance, instead of arresting somebody, putting them in jail where they have to post a bond or sit in jail for us to pay the $50 a day to keep them there, we bring them to court. They go before the judge, they pay their fines and court costs, they pay the restitution on the check, and they're released. We don't ever have to put them in jail. Same thing with Campus Profile More. Instead of arresting them, sitting them in jail, we get them to pay it. So it takes more time to do that. It'd be easier just to arrest them and put them in jail, but it's benefiting the county more to collect the monies and save having to house them.
well, it's just making sure we're not doing a duplication of services with the constable, and you guys doing the same job. That's really why I asked. Because I know the constables basically are supposed to work with the JPs and the warrants and stuff. So that's why I asked, and papers and all that kind of stuff.
Merlin, how long has this program been in effect? It's at least 7 years or so?
Yeah, I think I've been doing it 7 years, and my partner's been here 5 years.
And I've seen in court where y'all bring people who have warrants and end up getting their cases resolved there, which I think is a very good service for the county.
Just, I was under the impression that we had some vehicles down in a pool at the road and bridge. That if an officer's, a full-time officer that doesn't drive his own vehicle, it's a county vehicle, none of the constables that have their own vehicles can go down and draw out of the pool. But an officer like this could go down and draw out of the pool. Have we done away with those, or do we still have them? I know not long ago, Mr. Christian, one of his vehicles went down, and we were able to get him a car out of the transfer, so we wouldn't have to buy another vehicle there. That might be an option, but if we're gonna turn these vehicles back in